Anyone here ever been tired? No, y'all haven't. Y'all don't know tired. I'm just kidding. It's not very fun, is it? When trying to think of what I was going to say up here, the one thing that I could think of was, well, this story. It was about, 6 months ago? Maybe. I don't know. Time is weird. Well, Cyrus started waking up earlier, and that was a big problem. Not too early to start out with, but we were used to him waking up around 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. But he started waking up at 6:30, and that was causing some problems. You see, I'm slow at waking up. I like to take things easy. I like to wake up and drink a cup or 2 cups of coffee and take a good hour and a half to truly wake up, have the caffeine kick in, and then get my day started. It's what I've done for years. So I'd wake up at, say, 6 o'clock, drink a cup of coffee in the first 15, 20 minutes, and then drink another one in the next hour after that. Well, him waking up at 6:30 was, it was cutting into that time. And, of course, while I was drinking this cup of coffee, I'd be playing video games or watching TV or, just relaxing. So this was really cutting into that time. And it started getting tiresome. I wasn't able to snooze. I wasn't able to wake up when I wanted to. So I had a brilliant idea. All right, let's shift this back some. Instead of, alarm going off at 6, snoozing a little, waking up at 6:15, let's go back to like 5:45. That will give me enough time to drink a cup of coffee, so when he wakes up at 6:30, I'll at least be somewhat awake. Well, he countered me. I had the coffee pot ready to start brewing at like 5:35. I was going to wake up at 5:45. I was going to be ready. And he woke up at 5:20 the next morning. He knew what I had planned, and he countered it. It was tiresome. He finally got out of that stage. Don't know what was causing it. And then he kind of moved to now where he'll come in at the middle of the night and sleep in our bed. He's finally stopped kicking, or as much, so that's a little bit better, I guess. But it was tiresome. It was kicking me out of my routine. It was something I had to adjust to. It was kind of exhausting. I was not used to waking up first thing in the morning and being ready for someone who wanted to eat breakfast right away, play with toys right away, be loud right away. It was kind of shocking. It rattled me a little. Anyone here, and this is very random, anyone here know the third leading cause of casualties in World War II? I'm disappointed in every single one. Spanish flu? What? Yeah. The third leading cause of casualties in this case does not mean deaths. It just means that you are no longer able to be a soldier. The third leading cause of casualties was what's known as battle fatigue. It was 25% of all casualties in World War II. And what that means is that you reached a point where you could no longer function as a soldier. through mental, physical, emotional, all sorts of different types of exhaustion, you slowly lost your mind and you were unable to perform anything. Some would collapse, be unable to move. Some would have what's known as the 1,000-yard stare. Some would scream out and just go absolutely insane. It affected people differently and at different stages. Some would have it hit after 20 or so days. Some would make it longer. But it happened to everyone that did not have a break. The British actually, they would go the longest without needing an extended break, because after about every 12 to 14 days, they would get a 3-day weekend, basically. They would get a little break every now and then, and it helped tremendously. In the Bible, we have examples of fatigue, of people facing it. We talked recently about Saul and their battle, and him commanding his men not to eat, causing them to tire very quickly, and they got exhaustion. It wasn't battle fatigue, but it was fatigue. Later on, which we might be covering soon, but David has a situation where the Philistines capture the wives and children of his men, and they go out to rescue them. And that was a very challenging time. You're at battle, so you're physically exhausted. You're emotionally exhausted because here's your wife and children that have been captured. It says in verse 4 that the men were so overwhelmed with grief that they wept aloud until they had no more strength to weep. They were exhausted. It says that 600 of them pursued their captors, and after a while, 200 of them were too exhausted to cross the valley. David knew that they were fatigued, that they had gone through so much, and that they needed a break. So he let them rest. He let them recuperate. There's also so many other examples in the Bible of fatigue. I mean, the entire point of Revelations and some of the later chapters in the New Testament were, here's Christians, they're being persecuted. They're being pursued relentlessly. They're tired. They're not having fun. And they needed strength. They needed a message that in the end, things are going to be all right. And it's kind of interesting because we have Jesus that was telling us in Matthew 11. This is the English Standard Version, 28 through 30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and lean from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. This is Jesus saying, I know you're tired. Come to me. I will take care of you. I will make things easier. Philippians 4, verse 13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We have these examples, but people were still tired. They were still being persecuted. They were still losing loved ones. They were losing their lives. And they were tired of it. We're all going to face fatigue. We're all going to have examples where things are rough. Mental, physical, emotional exhaustion. We're all going to face that. And sometimes it can roll over into other aspects. Past couple of weeks of work have been just relentlessly exhausting for me. I've been busy from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock every single day, and just no breaks. It's exhausting. It's tiresome. But just got to keep on going. But most importantly, you have to know when to take a rest. God himself took a rest after creating everything. Now, did he actually need to? I don't think so, no. But he was trying to set an example for the Israelites and for us. Working constantly, being under stress, being under fatigue with no break will ruin us. And it can start impacting other things in our lives. It is very easy to come in here and just be so utterly exhausted, so tired for things that happen in the outside world that we're not able to focus on Christ, on Jesus, on fellowshipping with one another. So it can definitely impact other aspects of our life. I also think, I don't know, and this is just me rambling, we live in a time where it is very easy to get overloaded. I do not think that we are meant to have the information that we have at our fingertips. We can have a constant stream of news to worry about, just stimulus that doesn't give us a break. And they're designed that way. One of the things I've seen recently, and I don't have it, but on TikTok, it used to just be regular videos, but now it's gotten to where there'll be multiple videos because people won't have the attention span to just focus on one, so combining them will get people to watch it longer. And it's just so much stimulus, so much information, it just drives you crazy. It causes us fatigue. It's very easy to see a story of something happening in another state or another country and just getting angry at it and letting it impact us in negative ways. I mean, think about it. The letters in the New Testament, when they were sent out, it took months to get there, right? Paul wasn't able to send an email and get it. They had to send somebody hundreds of miles or however long it was to deliver it. We just have to be careful. We have to try to not let it impact us. We need to know when to call it quits, when to put the phone down, when to just walk outside, take a deep breath, and relax. Because without it, we're going to get burnt out, and it's going to impact every aspect of our lives. That's all I got. Thank you.